week's episode focuses on something many of us are dealing with quietly. How do we balance our faith with modern beauty standards? How do we stay grounded in a world where we're constantly being told this is what we should be, this is what we should look like, this is how we should present ourselves? I am currently on a fitness journey. I have lost over 40 pounds. And it's amazing how losing that much weight will change how I show up in the world. When I was 40 pounds heavier, I refused to take pictures. And even the handful I took, I refused to post them anywhere. And I was seeing these images of women who were way heavier than I was, putting themselves out there, talking about body positivity. And I admired their confidence, I admired their boldness, but I just couldn't do it. And I know I'm not alone. There are many people out there that are struggling with insecurities, body image issues, and in some cases, dysmorphia. We are constantly surrounded by others' curated images, filters, fillers, enhancements, and there's access to all those technologies and tools that honestly doesn't make it easier. In the past, when you didn't like your nose, you just lived with it. But now, you can get a nose job. There is BBL, veneers, lip fillers, liposuction, breast augmentation, and the list goes on and on and on. The world we live in is so obsessed with image, and it's like our self-worth is tied to what we look like and how we present ourselves. Even the lighter stuff like filters and makeup can create this pressure to present a version of ourselves that barely feels real sometimes. And I'm not saying don't look good, don't take care of yourself, but how do we take care of ourselves without being consumed by image? How do we honor our bodies without feeling the urge to constantly change something or modify something to fit the cultural trend? Most of us who grew up in Christian households or around Christians know of this verse, we are created in God's image. But that doesn't stop the insecurities from creeping in, especially when we are out here scrolling and seeing how the other half lives, their perfect skin, their perfect body, their perfect lives, or at least on the surface. Now, let me say this. I genuinely believe if there is anything you can do to improve your confidence, your health, and your overall well-being, then go for it. Absolutely. But make sure you're doing your due diligence. Make sure you're doing your research. Make sure you know the risks, the safety, the long-term effect. And also importantly, make sure you're in the right headspace. That's why many of these doctors would make sure you get a psychological evaluation or counseling before they proceed with some of these procedures. Because we've seen people go for these procedures and they end up hating themselves. In many cases, they end up regretting their decisions. And then we've seen people that go for corrections and it seems even worse than the initial one. And then we've also seen people who it has become almost like a lifestyle. After getting this one, they're getting another one. After this, they're fixing another thing. And it has become almost like an obsession. Because in many cases, it really was never about what they looked like. It's a deeper internal issue that was never dealt with. Maybe a wound or a lie in their past they've come to believe about what they look like. And no amount of cosmetic surgeries can fix a broken body image. That's just the truth. So the real question is this: where do we draw the line between self-care and body obsession, between self-love and vanity, and between honoring our body, our temple, and idolizing it? There is this verse in the book of 1 Samuel I always come back to. It says, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart." God looks at what we are becoming when no one else is watching. Culture focuses on symmetry, perfection, aesthetics, but God looks at the heart. There's also this verse in the book of Samuel that says, "I praise thee, O Lord." David says that. For I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and this I fully know. The truth is, I don't know this sometimes. This is a truth many of us often scroll by, but it is the truth. The truth is the truth no matter what. The challenge is, can we sit down long enough to really grasp this truth? Can we stop chasing the trends long enough for this truth to really sink in? Can we ask God, what do you really think of me? Because I guarantee you, it is beyond the surface. God sees our heart. He sees our purpose. He sees our potential. When we begin to believe this, truly believe this, it wouldn't stop us from caring, but it would change why we care. We would stop performing for social acceptance or cultural acceptance and start living in the confidence that we are already enough, we are already accepted, we are already loved, and we are already beautiful. Let me leave you with my favorite verse, one of my favorite verses in the Bible, in the book of Songs of Solomon. I love Songs of Solomon. It says, "You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you." So, what are you chasing when you look in the mirror? Whose voice are you hearing when you're out there scrolling, taking a picture, posting? My prayer for you and I is that God will let us to see ourselves the way He sees us, wonderfully, fearfully, and intentionally made. If you like today's episode, please leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time.